Hey guys, this is James with Crawlers and Customs, and today we took out our TRX-8, or the 8x8 that Traxxas never made but should have. In any case, we got a lot of running video from today, as well as some crawler fun with our friends at the park. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll do a brief overview on how I built this truck and the parts that you'll need. Hey everyone, it's James with Crawlers and Customs, and tonight in the RC garage we've got my TRX-8. So I wanted to briefly go over how I built this in case one of you guys want to tackle the project on your own. So a couple of things. This started as my wife's TRX-4, and then I decided I was bored of that. So what we did next is bought two TRX-6 chassis, and I cut the rear of one of the chassis off along with the front of that same chassis, and then I welded the rear of the second one onto the first one. So basically we had somewhat of a mirror image of the two chassis. And then I used the TRX-6 number 3 axle, turned that around and mounted that up front, so that became the steering number 1 axle. The number 2 axle is the standard TRX-4 or TRX-6 front steering axle, and the back of the truck is basically a TRX-6, so it has the pass-through number 3 axle and the center pumpkin number 4 axle on this particular truck. So welding those two chassis together and utilizing some of the drivetrain components is how we built this one. For those wondering, the electronics are pretty basic. It's got a Hobbywing Axe 550 3300 kV motor. This is a 2-speed truck, but I generally keep it in first gear. And the front axle is probably where you'll face your biggest challenge, your number 1 steering axle, which is a TRX-8 rear axle with the steering components added. You're going to need to buy 2 of the right side steering universals and trim both of those down to fit the center pumpkin on the front axle. So you'll cut the ends off and file them flat. It'll make sense once you get into the truck a little bit. So if you guys have any more questions on this truck, feel free to ask. We can go a lot more in depth with it, but we're going to focus on some driving. All right, thanks.